What's up, everybody? Alex here, back at you with another episode of Let's Look At on a newly released Dye Rotor R2. So the Dye Rotor R2 is currently coming in 4 colors. I've got this black and blue, you've got all black, all red, and the current sale price for the Dye Rotor R2 is $250. This does not mean that the original rotor is going away. The original rotor is staying. It is staying at its current price for $200 for whatever the current year of the color patterns are, and $190 for the black one. So that is staying. This is just a whole separate deal. It's not replacing the original rotor, so don't worry. Other than that, the way this video is going to go is I'm going to talk a little bit about the Rotor R2 and the features and what I like about it, what I don't like about it. And then I will bring the camera in and show you how to take it apart, because it's a little bit different, obviously. And then we'll come back out and I'll do some comparisons with the original rotor and Spire. Yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. So, right off the bat, I just kind of want to put out that I think a lot of people are looking at this like $250 is going to be an impossible thing. No one's ever going to pay $250 for a loader. But I will remind you that way back in the day when the Halo came out and it was like $100 and something. I don't remember exactly what the price was. I remember buying one, but it came out at $100 something and everybody freaked out, and everybody's like, nobody's ever going to buy a $150 loader or whatever it came out at. Or 120 or whatever, and everybody freaked out. And guess what happened? Everybody bought them. You guys remember when the rotor first came out? What was it, like 2009? 2009, right around there. Does that sound right? 2009, original rotor came out, $150. Everybody freaked out. No one is gonna buy a $150 loader. That is obscene. It's never gonna happen. Guess what? The rotors now is the golden standard, and it even costs more than it used to, and everybody's still buying them. They raised the price to $200 on the rotor, and everybody freaked out again. And they went through the whole Steam spiel, and it was really weird, and everybody flipped out and basically said the same exact thing. No one's ever going to buy a $200 loader. It'll never happen. It'll never happen. Guess what happened, guys? I'm going to give you 2 seconds while I take a sip of this delicious Mountain Dew to figure out what happened. That's totally right. Everybody still bought them at $200, and everybody is still buying them at $200. Why? Because it's that good. It is a rotor, guys. So, $250. That's already the first thing I've heard is, who's going to buy a loader for $250? Blah, 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 blah. I strongly apologize for anybody that actually sounds like that. I don't know why that was my default, like, mean person, sarcastic person voice, but anyway, yeah, guess what? I'm pretty sure people are still gonna buy these at $250, and they're gonna love them. So there you go. That's my first thought on it. Other than that, I think the way to look at this is not to look at it as a replacement, as a better rotor. I think the right way to look at it, and granted, this is completely my opinion. There's no right and wrong way to look about it. Although I guess there could be a wrong way to look at it, like, maybe if you looked at it and said this isn't better than a Revy or something. I don't know, that would probably be wrong. But other than that, this is my opinion, guys. I think the way to look at the Rotor R2 is not to look at it as a better rotor than the original rotor. It's got the same internals. The drive system, completely the same. It's feeding the same paint. It's the same technology. It's not any that much better. The way to look at it is as a different rotor with different options for different people, for different circumstances. I think that's the way to look at it. Regular rotor, right? It's pretty much capped at one size unless you buy a Mountain Dew. It's pretty much capped at one size unless you buy a high cap shell. Rotor R2 comes with both sizes in it. Pretty sweet. Comes with the ability to just change how much paint you're actually carrying out onto the field, which I think, without going and buying accessories and stuff for your loader, I think is a sweet deal. I think for people who are diehard rotor fans and would never buy anything else, excuse me, and would never buy anything else, but they would love to not have to keep swapping shells and stuff like that for when they're going and playing short games in the woods versus like scenario games or long games or something like that, or they play a lot of tourney ball, but they also go and playing in the woods and scenarios or something like that. This gives you the option to just have both in one thing without having one loader with accessories or two loaders or what have you. That's that option. So is this practical for people who already have a rotor or who already have a spire? No, not really. Not at all. I'm not going to lie to you. That's completely impractical. What this is for people who don't have a super loader yet, for people who don't have a rotor, for people who don't have a spire. They're looking to upgrade. What are they looking to upgrade to? Do you want to upgrade into a rotor or a spire? And then find out that, man, I wish I could hold more paint. And then you go and pay a bunch of extra money for accessories. Granted, you're going to end up paying pretty much the same amount of money that you would just pay wholeheartedly for the first time for a Rotor R2. But for those of you who are diehard rotor fans, this is pretty much the only option. If you're looking to get into it, you've been convinced that the rotor is the best way to go. Rotor R2, man, definitely check it out. That's what I think is what it's made for. It's made for people who already, like, I have a rotor and the spire, so I'm not buying a Rotor R2. I'm not. It's not that I don't hate it. I don't not like it. I do like it. I think it's pretty sweet. But I have no need for it. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who don't have a need for it either. But this isn't for every single person. This is made for certain people with certain situations and certain goals for their products. That's what this is for. That's what I think. That's how I think the Rotor R2 should be looked at. Anyway, all right. So let's delve into some of the features here. So right off the bat, obviously the biggest feature is the old extendy thingy. So in its little flat position here, 200 ball capacity. So it says you extend it, and you're supposed to have 260 ball capacity. Yeah, it does a little wonky. Look at that, you can see right through it. It's like clear plastic and stuff. It does look a little wonky, but it is what it is. High cap shells on rotors look wicked weird to me anyway. But that's how it is. How you do that? It's basically this big tab latch thing on the back. This is actually, it's going to be right to me, but it's going to be left for you guys. So if you move this latch to the left, it's got a little track in here on this clear tray that's inside. And if you move and hold it left, you can push it down. And if you move and hold it left and pull it apart, it goes up. And then it locks. It's not going anywhere. So that's how that works. Obviously, you'll see it when I bring the camera in and take it apart. One of the coolest features, I think, is the new the toolless lid. So now instead of having to have a whole separate top shell, a little top plate on the top shell itself, that's completely gone. What you've got is this push button right here. It's a little more of a slide, but if you want to take your lid off, you just slide it forward and it comes right off. It's just two little spring-loaded pins with a spring, and it comes right out. And it's pretty much just as easy to put it back in. You just kind of put it down in. Nope, missed the little pinhole there. My bad. Go on, get in there. There you go. And it's sit. There you go. Anyway, then it sits right in there. I promise it's not that difficult. It doesn't just come out 8 million times while you're doing it. It still has your same shark fin thing, just in case. Other than that, it's made out of the same material as far as I can tell. Yeah, pretty much seems to be made out of all the same material. Other than that, it's got the little counter button thingy here to supposedly count how much paint you're shooting and to remind you to reload. As far as I'm concerned, this is cool. completely impractical. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I think it's cool that the first time you load up, you hit the button and it resets the counter. And I'm pretty sure it's just a clock timer internally on the circuit board that's connected to the motor. So as the run time of the motor counts down the clock, it'll beep twice, I think, when you have like 100 rounds left, and it'll beep like 3 times when you have like 50 rounds left or something like that. And you're supposed to go to reload and you reset the counter, and I can't see anybody actually using this beyond the first time, but before they go out into the field, they might do it to remind them to reload the first time. But if you're in the middle of a game, like, how many times are you actually going to remember to hit that button? I highly doubt it's going to be a popular feature. But that's just my opinion. Some people, I can already tell you right now, some people are going to religiously make sure they use their little paint counter thing. Other than that, still same, just one button on off, just like that. Just like the standard rotor. So let's, at this point, let's go ahead and bring the camera in, guys, so I can show you how this thing comes apart. Alright guys, let's go ahead and take a look at how to disassemble the Rotor R2. Right off the bat, start off with the lid, obviously. What I just showed you guys earlier, that is the slide thingy. Just slide it forward like that. Obviously you need to flip the lid off, but it comes off like that. That's the mechanism. Obviously you can see it's just 2 pins, and you push the slide thingy and they retract. Super fun. Anyway, this is the slide on the back. This is how you extend the rotor, and just trying to make sure it actually gets in the lighting there. This is how you actually extend the rotor. If you want to extend it or retract the top lid, you slide it over this way, and then you either just pull it up or pull it down. If you want to take the top shell off, you slide it the other way over here, and there's a nice little like diagram printout on the actual thing. So if you slide it the other way, and then you go ahead and pull, you can see it actually just has a track kind of right here in the back. And what's going on here is you've got these 2 big silver pins right here, and that, as you slide them, it just makes the 2 big silver pins just follow the track. It's got the same hook in the front, just like the regular shell for the rotor. So to get this big tray out here, what you're going to do, you're going to have to do 2 things. There's these 2 little red tabs here, and they have a little indentation in them. So what you're going to have to do is pull those red tabs back towards the back of the loader, and it's only going to go back a little tiny bit. You'll see it as I do it here, so I can't even see what I'm doing, trying to show it on camera. So if I just pull them back, you can see it only goes back a little tiny bit. So if you just do that on both sides, and then if you pull down this, you see this big red kind of tab in the back, you're going to pull that up. Again, it doesn't go up that much. I can't really do it backwards, so sorry about that. So you're just going to pull that up, and at this point, right next to the big red tab, you'll see there's kind of like 2 like black button looking things that are just, they're not even spring loaded, it's just kind of long pieces of plastic like that. So you just push them back through the back of the plate, and you kind of have to push them back. I've been doing this. I've been just taking my index finger and my ring finger, and if you just push them back at the same time, you want to lift up. You want to lift up with the tray while you're pushing it, and then back. So if you do that, lift up and back, the tray has a little, it just kind of slots underneath this little front black piece right here. So obviously the back of the tray is already up like that. You just pull it out. That's how it comes out. And so for the rest of it, the whole gear drive system is not held in by anything at this point. It's not like the original rotor where these 2 red tabs, they're in pretty much the same spots as a regular rotor. They don't actually hold them in there. So if you turn your rotor over, it's just going to fall out. So there you go. It's the same 4 pieces that are in a regular rotor. Random item of note that I totally found out while messing around with it. These 2 pieces that are now blue, the 2 gear drive pieces, are totally backwards compatible in a regular rotor, and vice versa for these 2 pieces that are red in original rotor. These 2 pieces, the tray and this little top thing, I don't know what you want to call it, I'm sure it's got a name in the manual. These are not backwards compatible. This is actually slightly different diameter. It's actually slightly wider than a stock rotor tray. You cannot put these in a regular rotor. I don't know why you would anyway, but you can't do it, and vice versa. The old rotor ones don't fit in here, but these two pieces do. So there you go, random tidbit of information. But they're the exact same pieces. They're just, these two are just a slightly different size. Other than that, if you want to get the whole gear drive assembly out here, first of all, you can see that the actual motor is over here on the side instead of underneath the battery pack. That's why the Rotor R2 is a little wider in the back end and slightly shorter overall. But if you want to get these out, you can see that this is the same two tabs that you pulled back to get this out. You can now rotate these like so. They rotate. You can rotate them, and now the whole gear drive system comes out. And it's basically like pretty much the same gear pack. Other random item of note, with the original rotor, it did have a blackout mode where when you turned it on, instead of having the LED would not come on. So if you were playing in the low light levels, or you're playing at night or something like that, and you wanted to turn the LED off, or just don't want to have the LED on in the first place because you're trying to be super sneaky, that was like a little, it was basically like a little connection thing that you had to mess with. Now it's just got a dip switch. It's got two dip switches right here. So I'm pretty sure it was this. Yeah. So if you turn dip switch 1 to the stock positioning for these is they're both on. If you turn just dip switch 1 to the off position, no LED. So there's your blackout mode. And yeah, that's it. That's the disassembly of the Rotor R2. So now, real quick, I'll just throw it back together for you guys, just so you know how to. It's obviously just the same deal, but in reverse. Put your whole gear and the motor and the board and stuff back in. Rotate these two tabs back over, like so. Make sure that shark fin is attached properly. Make sure these two tabs are still pulled back so you can get this tray in. Go ahead and drop all your gears and stuff like that in. Again, make sure these are seated properly because there's nothing actually holding these down once you take the tray out again. Just item of note, remember that. And put the center arm back in and the little top piece. So now that's back in. And put the tray back in. So you're going to want to start by sliding this under the tab in the front right there. So make sure you slide that. You can even just kind of push it down and slide it forward. So at this point, it'll pretty much look like this. I found that the easiest way to do this, before I even try and put that back in, if you look here, there's actually an indentation. There's like two lips that come up, kind of like this. As you can see right here, there's like a little track. On here, on the tray, right below here, there's just a single piece of plastic. That track is basically going to seat inside this pre-made track for it. So as you put the tray back in and slide it forward underneath that tab, what I've been doing to make sure it gets underneath the two hooks in the back, I've been putting two fingers right here and just kind of push it forward a little bit so you can get it down most of the way. Now at this point, to make sure that the plastic tray gets seated in that track properly, I've been kind of pushing out a little bit from the inside of the back corner just to make sure that that seats just like so, and you're back in. So now you can go ahead and slide these the two red tabs back forward, and that big red tab in the back, you can just push that back down, and that prevents the two little kind of black plastic pieces you were able to push and unlock the tray. That prevents those from being pushed and unlocking the tray. So at this point, the easiest way I found to get the lid on is if you take the hook and hook it up front like you would with a normal rotor, and line it up. While you're doing this, you're going to need to hold the little unlocking button it's actually to the right, although it to me it's going left because I'm doing this backwards, but it's actually to the right. You need to hold it to the right so you can get it inside the tray. And there's kind of two little plastic lips on the outside of the tray right here that you kind of need to just, if you squeeze the top part of the tray on the outsides so that the shell goes over those two little lips and is able to go down, I've been kind of standing it on its nose, and if you just push in like this and then kind of just put a little force on that top shell, it's not going to break, guys. So just put a little force on it and it just seats right into that track, and you'll be able to push it all the way down. Just give it a little force, it's not going to break, I promise. And then you're all set, and you can go ahead and put your lid back on. Make sure those two pins are seated properly. And there you go. So let's go back out and look at some quick comparisons and wrap up the video. Alright, so let's compare the Rotor R2 to the original rotor, Aspire and Aspire 260. I did weigh these guys. I was going to weigh it on camera, but I weighed them off camera. And between all four of these loaders, the difference you're looking at in weight is between 1/2 ounce and 1.5 ounces. So the weight is not really a big thing. Yes, these all have batteries in them just because it's the internet. It has a battery. You can see the LED. So does that one. So does that one. And you guys already know that this one has batteries. So yeah, between 1/2 ounce and 1.5 ounces, it's not that big of a deal, so I'm not even going to do it. I think the biggest thing that everybody wants to see, comparison-wise anyway, is the profile. How tall is it? How wide is it? How short is it? Whatever. So for that, I'm going to use these two die stands with the attachments to put a loader on them. So I can lay them both flat right next to each other and tell you guys exactly how they look. So let's start off. One of my die stands is kind of falling apart. No. All right, let's start off with the Rotor R2 compared to the original rotor. And these are both completely flat. You're maybe looking at not even a 1/2 inch, guys. It's not complete. It's not totally really shorter than an original rotor, but then again, it's also not that close. Maybe 2/5 of an inch. Maybe it's not too far off. So here's the biggest one. Is we have this the Rotor R2 in the flat position, the 200 round capacity position, compared to a standard Spire. Make sure those are both down and seated. The standard Spire is still shorter, guys, by a little under 1/2 inch. Pretty much the same difference between the R2 and the regular rotor. So a standard Spire is still shorter, guys. There you go. So now let's do the little extendy go gadget extending rotor thing. So now it's at the 260 capacity versus a Spire 260. This is still shorter, guys, by pretty much a 1/2 inch. So there's your comparison. I'm pretty sure that was the only comparison that people were actually worried about. For those of you guys who use Empire Z2s, Z2 is roughly about the same height as a Spire, so I'd go with that. Go with that comparison. So there you go, guys. It's still taller than both Spires in both positions. So that is pretty much the only comparison that I think really people actually wanted to see. Other than that, it's still going to feed just as many paintballs, just as fast. It's still a rotor. So my closing thoughts with the Rotor R2. Again, I just got to go back to, I think there's a right and a wrong way to look at it. Obviously, that's just my opinion. I think the way to look at this is it's a different loader for different situations for different people. It's not meant for everybody, and it's certainly not, I don't think, meant for people who already have a rotor or who are a rotor with a high cap shell, or who already have a Spire, with like a 260 shell or something like that. If your rotor's completely dead, or your loader's completely dead, and you're looking for a new one, it's certainly not a bad way to go with the Rotor R2 with the collapsible thing. Again, I still maintain that I think this is not a better rotor. I think it's a different rotor. I think that's a very key difference to look at it like that. Other than that, again, these are not going away. These will still be here. You can still buy them. This is just an addition to the line, to the family. So that's all my thoughts on the Rotor R2, guys. If you have any questions, or something like that, or you want me to compare it to something else or find a different comparison between rotors and spires and Rotor R2s and the whole 9 yards, definitely let me know. Say something in the comment section below. Other than that, I'd love to hear your thoughts, guys, about what do you think of this compared to everything else, and do you think people are actually going to buy this? Do you think it's a worthy product? Do you think it's a useful product, or do you think Dye just completely missed the mark and you don't have any idea what the hell they were thinking? So I'd love to hear your comments and thoughts on that, guys. Go ahead and drop it in the comments section below. That's pretty much all I got for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, if you learned something, I really appreciate it if you hit that like button. It really helps out the channel a lot. Other than that, that's it for today's video, guys, and I will see you next time.